Hey, what's up guys? This is Malik with Music Submissions, and in this particular video, I'm going to show you how to get paid utilizing digital distribution. Do you know what that is? Digital distribution basically allows you to get your music on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Tidal, Google Play, Pandora, all these in particular websites, right? But not only am I going to show you these actual platforms, I'm going to show you the top 10 so that you can focus on the bottom 4 and say, hey, I want to utilize that company. Because when you're using a digital distribution company, they're taking percentages. So you got to make sure that you use the right one. So that's the objective of this in particular video. So let's go ahead, get in my computer, and I'm going to show you exactly the company that you should be using so that you can get your music on all these platforms so that when you start getting streams, you're getting paid. So you're just not sitting around putting out music on SoundCloud and not actually getting a royalty off of it. Okay guys, we just zapped straight into my computer. In this in particular video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how these music distribution companies be trying to finesse or be trying to cap. So just to let you guys know, I'm not a lawyer, so make sure that you have one of those on deck, or make sure that you at least go look at these companies for yourself, search their terms of service. You can actually see all those things on their website so that you just don't take my word for it. So as of today, when I recorded this in particular video, it's as stated. So let's go through this. The very first company I want to talk about is CD Baby. So before I decided to create this in particular video, I did my research first, and I had to rank companies based on what is the best deal for you. And I'm going to tell you why CD Baby sucks. So the very first thing that I noticed, I was trying to figure out how much percentage do these guys give, right? As you can see right here, they take 15% commission. Now, you might say, what is that if you don't already know, right? So basically, long story short, digital distribution, get your music on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, all these other platforms, right? Your streams, all that, Tidal, all that stuff, right? They want 15% cap on what you bring in off of streams. That's what we're talking about right now. So anything that streams, they want a 15% off of that. That's a problem for you. That's very high, especially because they're not doing anything for you. When you really think about it, like, yeah, they sent it to those websites, but in a later video, I'm going to show you how you can actually do this without even using a digital distribution company. So that was the very first thing that I noticed. I was like, nah, you need a better deal where you keep more royalties, because let's just imagine if you was to get a record deal, right? You already locked in with CD Baby at 15%. What if the record label come in and say they want 60? Now you're looking at 75% taken out. Then the label just gave you a loan, bam, and you only get 25%. You'll be broke. You'll have to stream. You'll have to get so many streams in order to be able to pay these guys back. The next very thing that I didn't like, they want physical sales. So yeah, they want $9.95, so $10 for every single that you release, right? They also want a commission on a digital sale. So now they capping you. They saying you basically working for us. Now, maybe if you went through them alone, you didn't want to ever get no record deals, maybe this is the best position for you. So they want 9% off your digital sales, and they also want $4 off of physical sales. Basically, you literally are being raped. So let's just skip past them and go to the next situation. Number 9, Record Union. So I went through these guys' website and I noticed how they was capping. I said, okay, look how they playing it. So they charging you $7 for 1 to 2 tracks, right? So let's say you drop 100 tracks. I mean, you said that's $700. So there's no way of getting around these guys where you can just get like a different type of situation. So, let's say you do an album. This is ridiculous, the type of deals that they have right here. Personally, I don't like it. It don't make sense to me. It's because you're going to spend so much money, especially if you're an artist that want to keep on releasing things. So you don't even want to touch these guys. And then also what I realized about these guys when I went in their terms of service, because on their website, as you can see their prices, they capping you on every time you drop a single, and they keep an 85% commission. Well, they give you 85%, but they keep 15% as well. But it says up to 92%. So they really finessing with you. Then also in the term of service is saying that you agree that royalty payments will be subject to the conditions. Now, this is not even on their main website. That's why it's very important, if you're going to look at digital distribution companies, make sure that you look at their terms of service so that you can make sure how these guys are operating. Because if you didn't know that, you'll be thinking, oh, I'm getting paid, whatever. they capping on you, charging you $7 to $12. Let's go back over here. $7 for 1 to 2 tracks, and you won't take 15% just because you submitted my content to Apple Music, Spotify. You can literally do those sites manually, but of course, this is a publishing company, so they can kind of finesse like that. So let's go down and just get rid of them two guys. I basically just showed you two people that charges they taking 15% and they capping on you every time you want to get your stuff your music out. So period. Let's just get off those two companies. Let's go to TuneCore. So TuneCore, I'm going to give it 8. Here's why I don't like these guys. I mean, there's some things that I like about them, but let's just go what I don't like about them. So these guys are a little bit better because instead of taking 15%, they just basically hit you with a 90%. They give you 90, they keep 10 for themselves. So I just showed you two other companies that was capping on every track you put out, and they wanted 15%. But these guys say, okay, nah, we ain't gonna hold you like that. We're gonna just take 10% from you. But see, this is where the pimp game comes in, and this is what's gonna help you be able to be smarter in your decisions when you actually decide to get your music digital distributed. And nobody gonna be able to try to finesse and tell you, hey, you do this, you do that. So you know exactly how they be playing these games. So 10% is what they give you, right? And then what's the deal? They say, okay, for a single $9.99, I think they do an unlimited. So music publishing administrator, $75, pay as low one-time fee, register unlimited songs at an extra cost. And then you also got the first year. So right here as a music distribution, what you want to do is pay the $29.99 the first year and then $50 each year. Okay, whatever. It's all right. It's better than the other two companies, right? So you're looking at $50 per year after the first year. So they're gonna hit your credit card with that $30 fee the first year. You're gonna forget about it. Next year, bam, you're gonna be surprised. But you gotta keep paying these guys. You want to keep your music on these platforms, so you're gonna have to pay them, and they want their 10%. But we got to keep on going so that we can find better companies, because this is an all right situation. And as I said before, I'm not a lawyer. Make sure that you actually go to these websites, because when these type of videos come out, or when people start competing a lot, when they see other companies, they may change these royalties and they might play with it to make it benefit you more. So make sure you guys go look into that. Now let's go to the next company. This is called Lander. I believe this is a newer company. I was digging on Google. I probably went to the 8th page just looking for digital distribution companies. I've been following these guys for a while, just looking into them. Okay, Lander is a little bit better than the previous digital distribution companies that I mentioned, because they give you 100% of real royalties and rights. So when they distribute your content to Apple Music, Spotify, all the other platforms, they're not going to get no cut off of that. So that's perfect. So if you did get a deal, you don't have to worry about splitting it with them off of that record that popped. The problem with that is they figured out how to cap you. So you're looking at $6 a month for a basic fee, and they play you and tell you, oh, look, we're only going to give you low MP3s. Like, what do that mean? So that'll fool you. Then they'd be like, oh, well, we're going to charge you an extra additional $5 for high MP3. So it's really like they're playing with the words, like, what is really the difference? Then they hit you with, okay, you get a wave or HD wave. So the first thing you're going to think of, okay, my master copy, is that in a wave? Do I have it in an MP3? So that's where they're going to play you. A lot of times it don't cost them no difference. They can actually make this price one price if they really wanted to, but that's just their way of being able to try to trick you into getting one of the services, but they really all the same. So that's where they're going to get you. But the problem is, yeah, they give you 100% of your royalties, but they charge you monthly, right? So you're paying $6 a month, but you times that by a year. What's that? $72 off the small package. So most likely you're gonna spend a $14 plan, which is gonna be about 100 and something. So that's how they play around with you without you really realizing what's going on. So you'd be like, oh dang, I'm about to pay this. But then what happened if your record isn't doing as well? Then they collected more money. So they're trying to collect more money off the volume of artists that they get. So they may not have quality artists on their platform, but they charge artists a monthly fee so that they can keep clocking in on them every month, versus the other companies might be $30 or $40 per year, like TuneCore was before, but it's per year, but then they give you 10%. So they're all trying to figure out how to consistently make money off you, whether you're making money or not. And that's the pimp game. So the objective is, how can you put yourself in the best position? Let's go on to the next company, Mondo Toons. So I did some research on these guys. I'm gonna put them guys at number 6. Mondo Toons, okay, so these guys, I said, okay, they charge $40 for the year, unlimited music. The previous ones they were getting over, right? You were like, you paying damn near, $10, $14 per month, and they want 10%. One company want 15%. It's ridiculous, right? With these guys, you're gonna pay $40, right? Per year. You're gonna pay that per year. However, they give you 100% of your royalties, and you don't have to worry about giving them no money off the sales. Most companies that we just talked about previously, they don't do that. So you're actually in the best position going on forward. The only issue that I didn't like about Mondo Tunes is that I seen that they charge $249 for video distribution, which say, hey, we're going to get you on MySpace. Like, come on, bro. Like, nobody worried about no MySpace. Now, I'm going to get you on YouTube. I know how to upload a YouTube video. I'm going to get you on Vivo. I can show you guys in another video how to do the Vivo. That's more of a finesse right there. Now, I'm going to talk about that way later because Vivo was a whole nother different monster. And it's just a name that a lot of celebrities use. But that's basically more distribution in itself where they get a cut off distribution. So that's a different game that I don't want to go over at this point, but you don't want to do that at this point. So this is a better situation if you just go with the $40 plan, because at least you'll know as you're promoting your record, no matter how big it get, you don't have to split those cuts. And that's why this company is ranked at number 6. So number 5 is DistroKid. Now, DistroKid is pretty clean and cut straight. So if you look at these guys straight up, is $19.99, unlimited album, songs, whatever, for 1 year. The company before that was like $29, and they are both 100% royalties. And you get paid monthly off these guys. The company before that, I believe that they pay quarterly. So that's the difference with different companies. So DistroKid is a pretty good company. Now, of course, all these websites do the same amount of companies that distribute your music to. You see iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora. A lot of these other companies might say, hey, we'll distribute you to 600 stores. That's BS. We know that iTunes actually owns majority of the market share. Apple Music, they these are the top players right here. iTunes, Spotify, and Apple Music. So anything else, they just bull crap and Untitled. So if any other company, oh, we get you on 600 sites, you only need the basic ones in real life, because those companies actually are in other countries as well. They're not just in the US. So you don't have to worry about stuff like that. However, this is one of the better options for you. Like, period. $20 unlimited, you're killing it. You don't have to worry about somebody contacting you, telling you, hey, pay me this, I'll do your distribution. You can go to this website, you can submit your music in there, put your social security, all your information in there so they know who you are. Make sure that your music is good. You lit. So you for sure want to use these guys. I would recommend these guys over every single one that I just mentioned. The next one is Ditto. Now, these guys are slept on. I really did my research. I was just trying to figure out, like, what's so good about these guys. I actually had to move these guys up in position. A lot of people don't talk about these guys, but there's a reason why I like these guys. So at number 4 is $19.99 per year. They say 19 bucks. Now, unlimited music. That's a killer. You just won, period. Like $19. That was the same. That was competing with DistroKid before that. So they're both 19. Remember when we first came from? When we first did this, we were at like 50, 60 bucks. Now we're at $19, right? And all those other companies wanted a percentage of your income. So, like, just remember where we at. I know we just came a long way. It's probably been a long 5-10 minutes, but you got to remember, you had $19 for unlimited songs. No cap, no nothing. It's just clean and straight. So here's why I like these guys, because I was like, okay, this is pretty cool what they're doing. So you get distribution to all major stores like all other companies, access to sale boosting tools. I don't know what that means. However, it sounds good, right? Because you get more access to something else. So you got more of a dashboard that you can do other things with. So the other company, yeah, it was 20 bucks, but hey, we'll put you on all these websites. But that was really it. You get 100% of your royalties. Like what it says, you'll localize every penny you earn from royalties and receive payment straight to your bank. So yeah, they do straight to bank account. Some companies use PayPal, but this is a really good situation for you. So you get 24/7 artist support. But be honest, I haven't seen no company say that. Like, I haven't seen any company that actually be willing to communicate with you. A lot of times you just got to submit to the website. Maybe you submit a ticket, but it's a little bit harder. These guys put it on the website. Also, They claim they said something called get playlisted. So it says we feature our artists' music on playlists and secure inclusion on other popular playlists across the biggest streaming platforms to increase your streams and royalties and help you get discovered. This is the old school digital distribution you used to hear about. Like they're actually doing more for you. So, I mean, how many companies are talking about that? Now, maybe you got to prove to them, maybe they got to see how your numbers doing before they contact you, but it makes sense. They're not overcharging you. They tell you that they're going to give you free ISRC codes. That's pretty good. So it's not like they're trying to find ways to charge you. But another thing that I really like that tripped me out is when I seen this right here where it says your copyright's protected. We submit digital fingerprinting with every release to protect your music from further distribution and copyright infringement. What I like about that is, I don't know if you guys ever used the mixtapes before and then all of a sudden you uploaded it to YouTube or maybe SoundCloud and it was like this song is copyrighted or this is under this in particular digital distribution, and they basically take the music down, or YouTube either get a strike or you get a copyright notice or something like that. This actually will protect you. So just imagine if somebody took your song or took your beat and they try to put it on their platform. Imagine somebody protecting you. Like, a lot of people don't know how to do that. So when these guys said that, I was like, you know what? That's pretty dope. So you guys are offering a lot more. So I would recommend these company over every single company that we spoke about before. Now let's move on. Orchard is number 3. Now, every company after this I'm going to mention, there's not really much for me to tell you as far as any numbers, because the top 3 right now is the best, because you have to have a relationship to get to Orchard. There's no other way for you to get to these guys. Like, you have to know somebody and you have to be doing numbers for them to want to communicate with you. And that goes on for every company that we're about to speak about. The dope thing about this is, compared to those other companies, we were just talking about how these companies charge you this company charge you that, which is no problem, whatever the case. You're your own boss. You're just trying to make things work for yourself. With these companies, the dope thing is, sometimes depending on where you at, if you have the right relationship, you'll get the digital distribution no charge. And when there's traction, if at from the time that they bring you in, someone at that digital distribution company is already thinking how much of a check they're gonna give you. It's like, the dope thing about digital distribution with these type of companies, they'll pay you up front. So if you already doing 100,000 streams per month, 50,000 streams, if you already doing something, they may negotiate you like a different price. Hey, here's what we'll give you. They'll look at your data, all your historical data, and say, okay, this guy's already getting X amount of streams. They can look at all your data from Spotify, Apple Music, everything. They already know everything. So they're like, okay, here's what you get. So it just depends on how much you're streaming, and that's the type of deals that you can make. So that's what's so dope about these companies. So it's more like, hey, here's what we're going to pay you. And it's not like a record deal. Like, when you get a record deal, it's more like, oh, I'm about to trap you in for 5 albums. This is more like per project. So, don't get me wrong. A company may pay you and say, oh, we want to get 2-3 projects off you, whatever the case may be. Here's $100,000. But the dope thing is, you're not trapped in like this label type of situation. Like, you still can drop how you want to drop. You're not limited to how you drop. It's a real digital distribution company. And that's what the digital distribution companies used to do back in the days. They weren't just about, hey, come to our website, pay us this, pay us that. They were really actually putting money. They was actually matching you. And this is that old school digital distribution. But don't expect every company to be like that. So number 2 is Ingrooves as well. Just like I mentioned before, these in particular websites, you can't just go to a website and sign up. Every site, before I mentioned the number 3, every from 4 to 10, you can go to those websites. Anybody can go on there and just sign up. Ingrooves is another situation where you have to know somebody. However, although Ingrooves, I would say Ingrooves is better because they kind of work with people of hip hop a little bit more than Orchard, like period, like 90% more. However, some people at Ingrooves may try to finesse. So like, if somebody try to say, hey, give us 500 or give us 100 or give us 200, that's just somebody trying to finesse. Maybe they do have somebody up there. They may really have a relationship at Ingrooves, but the thing is, they just charging you, but they got the plug to get you in. So you really want somebody that actually can slide you in, that's legit, but that can get you a check. If you ain't got the streams and things don't make sense, don't think about getting a check in the beginning. Like, build the relationship. Now, all 3 of these companies on average do take 20% of your distribution, which is more than all the other companies that we mentioned. However, these type of companies will pay you a bag if you actually got great content. So that's the difference. Like they'll pay you up front in advance and say, here's this. And then they'll split the royalty after you make X amount of streams. So they may say, here's 30,000 right here. Bam, I'm gonna give you that. Then they may say, okay, I get 100% of the royalties until I make my money, and then we split it like this. You get what I'm saying? Like whatever the case, but they're invested in you, so you might get a little bit less, but you got the money up front, and you take. Let's say they say, okay, I'll take 60% since I gave you money up front, and you take 40. It's just different type of deals. But there's a lot of artists doing that right now. There's a lot of independent artists that's doing that, but they're getting big bags. There's some artists getting 200,000 as an independent artist. Bam, give me that. You know what I'm saying? Just off a project. They get the 200,000, get that advance, and they're good because they paid up front. So, but it's still like a relationship where you can actually go and do your music videos. And you can use that money for other marketing materials. So that's the difference when you utilize these type of companies. So moving along to number one, a lot of companies, a lot of guys use these guys, Empire. So you got Young Dolph, T.I., XXXTentacion, Drum. I mean, there's a lot of artists that use this in particular company. Like they're super lit. Like they're the major players. They're really the old fashioned digital distribution. Like once you get in and you got the numbers and you got the right person to get you into that in particular door, if you got the numbers, because don't think that somebody gonna get, these people ain't no suckers. They not about to just sit there and just, pay you for fun. Like it don't work like that. If you got the numbers and it makes sense and you get the right introduction, once you get your music digital distributed through them, it's good. You're lit. Like you're going to get paid up front. Like, and you want to negotiate like that, because once you get on this path, you're not going to worry about a label, because what's going to happen is you're going to be like, okay, I got my bag up front, and you just doing deals, like one-off deals, instead of this whole label where, okay, now I got to move how the label want me to move. I got to do what they want me to do. I got to drop and release how when they want me to. So you still have that freedom. So even if you do a 3-album deal with these guys, it's not like they say, oh, you got to wait 7 years to put it out. You still have control how you put out that, and you get the money up front if you're doing well with your numbers. So this is the number one company. You can look at the websites for any of these companies that I said. Make sure that you actually do your own homework as well, because I can't promise you that everything is going to change in the future. As of today, from what I've seen. Okay, so now you've learned the game. You know exactly what you need to do now. There's no excuse. Nobody can come up to you, try to finesse you, tell you, I can do this for you, get you on this website, charge you $200. None of that. You can save so much more money because you can go straight through the plug. Now, in a different video, I kind of want to talk about how to get around them, because in reality, yeah, a digital distribution platform is great because they get you to those platforms fast. But there is a way to manually submit your music to each and every one of these websites to avoid these percentages. But as I said before, a lot of these companies are, 100% royalties, where they don't even touch your royalties. So the $20, it's like it's nothing, whatever, right? But I'm going to probably create that content anyway, just so that you can be able to see, like, okay, how do I manually do it if you just don't want to go through a company? But for the most part, you want to focus on the bottom three if you want to get a check up front. All those other platforms, you can go ahead and decide which one is best for you. I suggest number 4 or 5. So if you like this in particular type of content, make sure that you like, comment on this in particular video. If you have any questions, make sure that you put it below. See you in the next video. Peace.